Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be the 5 looks 1 palette with the new Anastasia Cosmos palette. This palette is now available not just on the Anastasia website but also at Ulta. I know that a few of you were waiting for this palette to come out at Ulta and it is already there. I'm leaving you the link to this palette down below in the description box to both the Anastasia and the Ulta website. It is still not available at Sephora. I contacted their customer service. They told me that they didn't have a date for this palette to launch at Sephora yet, which is kind of confusing. Maybe they just didn't want to tell me. I don't know when the palette launches at Sephora. Whenever it does, I'll include the link in the description box, but for now you can buy it at the Anastasia website and Ulta, and if you are interested in getting this palette, it would definitely help me out if you use the links I'm leaving you down below. Besides the palette, everything I'm wearing on my face will of course be listed and linked down there. When playing with this palette, I definitely confirmed the fact that this is a pretty versatile palette. I love the shimmers, very sparkly, very ethereal. The color story is beautiful. You have perfect matte shades and also the most beautiful duochromes that can create looks with a lot of dimension that are quite easy to achieve. I honestly loved every single look that I created with this palette, and I would love it if you commented down below as you're watching which look was your favorite. At the end of the video, I will of course tell you which of the 5 looks was my personal favorite. If you want 2 additional looks with this palette, in my original review video, I have 2 looks already created, and I also have the swatches of this stunning color story over there. And we have a lot to get into today, so let's just go ahead and get started. I'm starting look number 1 with the shade Space Dust and my Refer number 15 brush. This is the perfect transition color in this palette, so you'll probably see me using it a lot. And I'm going to just back and forth blend it all throughout the crease of my eye, always starting on the outer corner because I want this back here to be the area of most intensity. So just back and forth blending. I'm going to use the shade Eclipse next, and I have it on a Refer number 1, and I'm just going to dab it right here on the outer third of my eyelid, just dabbing it in place right there, kind of angling towards the outer corner of the brow. And once I have a good amount of this color deposited, I'm going to start blending it in. I'm not going all the way in, I'm just going to back and forth diffuse the inner edge of my smudge that I created, so that we see a gradient effect from the outer corner of the eye inwards. So just over the edge of my smudge, I'm just back and forth blending that color inwards. I think this is the shade that gave me a little bit of trouble when I first reviewed this palette, that I saw a little smudge with, but today it's looking really nice. I'm not seeing any patchiness. That was what I saw the first time, some patchiness. Today it's looking nice, so it probably must have been something to do with the way I prepped my eye when I reviewed this palette. So like I said, just blending in. If you need to, which I do because I want to blend it in further, just go back with the blending brush you use for the transition color, which for me was the Refer number 15, and with nothing added to it, I'm just going to run it over the inner edge of my smudge, and you can see how it goes from dark to faded going inwards. On my index finger, I have the shade Supernova, and I'm going to dab it starting on the inner third of my eyelid back into the purpley shades, just dabbing it in place and bringing it back into the outer corner shades. Bring it back through the crease. And then with my Refer number 1, I'm going to blend right where the shimmer meets the matte. I want to be more precise with it, so I have some more Supernova on a Refer number 28. And again, starting on the inner corner, I'm going to bring it in through my crease and define this top edge a little bit. And again, just make sure it blends nicely into the matte shades on the outer corner. My hope is that this is very easy for you to recreate at home, and because the shimmer shades, in particular the lighter shimmer shades in this palette, are duochromes, they change beautifully depending on what they have underneath them. So you can see that right here on the innermost corner of the eye, this shimmer shade looks one color, and then it gets darker in the center because it starts going over the matte shades, and it fades into a darker, more purpley type of vibe versus the lighter pink vibe that it has on the inner corner of the eye. So with one shade you were able to create a lot of dimension on the eyelid, which is what I was going for. I'm very happy with this look so far. I have a little bit of my fresh serum on this cotton here, and I'm going to use it as makeup remover because it has a bit of oil in it. And I'm just going to run this cotton through the outer edge back here because I want a defined outer corner, just like so. And so this right here, as simple as it was, is the top of the first look for me. Let me put some makeup on my face and I'll be back to finish it up. I put makeup around my eyes and I went ahead and used a burgundy eyeliner in the waterline of my eye, and I'm back to finish look number 1. I'm going to start by using the color Space Dust on a Refer number 14 brush and smoking things out right underneath my eye here. With a Refer number 26 and the color Eclipse, I'm going to darken things up on the outer half of my under eye, starting on the outer corner of the under eye and blending it inwards. Also making sure it kind of meets with the top of the eye look on the outer corner here. And with the color Supernova on the tip of a Refer number 28, I'm going to come underneath my tear duct area here and bring it around 1/3 of the way in under the eye. For the most part, I love to mimic what I did on top right under. Alright, and just like that, before any mascara or lashes are applied, this is look number 1. Before I put on some lashes, this is look number 1 with just mascara on. Finally, back with the lashes on. These are Flutter lashes from Sigma and Angela Bright, I believe. And this right here is the finished first look with this palette. Really nice and romantic, a very, very simple look to do. So I really hope that you guys have no trouble recreating this one. I have to say, I absolutely love the way that this one came out. I really hope that you guys like it too. And let's go ahead and move on to look number 2. I'm going to start look number 2 once again with the shade Space Dust and a Refer number 15 brush, and I'm just going to blend this color all throughout the crease of my eye, all the way in this time. Let me just darken things up a little bit back here on the outer third of the lid, and then just bring it up towards the crease and blend it inwards with windshield wiper motions. With a Refer number 1 and the shade Comet, I'm going to intensify the outer third of my eyelid and bring that shade up to the crease a bit, just blending it in place back here, and then with the tip of it, I'm going to start blending it into Space Dust. Same brush and the color Mars, and we are intensifying things a bit further back here, just tapping it on the outer third of my eyelid and bringing it up to the crease ever so slightly. And back with my Refer number 15 brush, we're going to blend that upper edge, just back and forth back here. I want to use the shade Mercury, but I'm going to be using it as a base for something else. So I'm going to tap it all throughout my eyelid area with my finger, just packing it in place right here. I was playing with this shade Mercury earlier and I realized that it is the perfect shade to put underneath any of the more ethereal shimmers of this palette to create a lot of intensity, and it looks absolutely beautiful like that. So I'm going to grab the shade Sun with my finger still, and I'm going to put it on top of the shade Mercury, just packing it on. I love the way this looks. So pretty, right? A bit more of the shade Sun, this time on a Refer number 2 brush, and I'm going to add it to the innermost corner of the eye and blend it in through the crease a bit, right through here, just back and forth. Take a look at the shade Sun on top of Mercury versus on its own. I love it. Back with a little bit of serum on my cotton square, I'm going to clean the outer edge. I actually think I want to add a little bit more of the shade Mars back here, so I added a bit more to my brush and I'm packing it in place. And so this right here is the top of look number 2. Let me put some makeup on my face and I'll be back to finish it up. Back with makeup on to finish look number 2, and I'm going to use this Kiln eyeliner from Glossier right here, right on the waterline of my eye, to add a bit of a pop of warmth down here. That's pretty intense. I wasn't expecting it to be as warm, but that's okay. It'll look good anyways. With a Refer number 14 and the shade Space Dust, I'm going to back and forth smoke out my under eye area down here, right in between my lower lashes. Just back and forth, back and forth. With a pointed brush, this one is a reference number 26 and the shade Mars. I'm going to smoke out my outer half of the under eye, blending it into space dust so that it looks just as intense underneath as it looks on top. I was going to use a bit of Comet, but I don't think I need to. I'm just going to make sure Mars fades in a little bit. Retouching my inner corner Sun. And before any mascara or lashes are applied, this right here is look number 2. Before I go on with lashes, here is look number 2 just with mascara on. I'm using a Benefit mascara that is not necessarily the most volumizing, but here's look number 2 if I were just to leave it with some mascara. I'm back with my half lashes on from Sigma, the same ones I wore for look number 1, and this is the finished second look with this palette. I really love the way that this one came out, and I love how the shimmer shade kind of transitions right in the center of the eye when it goes over the shade Mercury. I hope you guys like this one. Let's go ahead and move on to look number 3. If you want to see looks 1 and 2 from a little bit further away, take a look right here. I really love the way both of these came out. This one's nice and warm and fiery with beautiful dimension, and so is this one. Look number 1 was so freaking easy to do, and for such a simple look, it came out bomb in my opinion. For look number 3, I want to try and do something that is very, very ethereal, so we'll see how that goes. For blending, I'm going to just go in with my reference number 14 brush because I don't want anything that occupies too much space. I want to keep things kind of where I want them. You'll see. This right here is just a folded cheap ass paper towel and I'm just going to put it right there on the outer corner of the eye, kind of going towards the end of my brow. And with my reference number 14 brush in the shade Dark Matter, I'm going to darken up the outer corner of my eye, just back and forth, just like this, right there. Here's a clean reference number 1, and with it, I'm just going to diffuse the inner edge of this, because I just want it to look like a smoky liner back there. Yeah, just like that. I love the way that looks. Okay, hold on. I'm going to place my paper towel in the same place right there. And this right here on the tip of my reference number 1 is the shade Eclipse, which I'm going to run over what I just did, just so that it goes in a little further, but in a lighter shade, so that it looks a bit diffuse going inwards. With the reference number 2 and the shade Mercury, I'm going to go over the edge once again. And I'm going to use this as a base for the shade that comes next, right? But I want to mix it with that outer corner wingy type color. Big fluffy brush, blending the inner edge of Mercury. Nothing added. This is just a reference number 15, just to blend this shade Mercury in ever so slightly. To be honest, I feel like it went a bit further than I wanted it, but only because that shade Mercury is super pigmented. So if I were to do this over, I would use less of it. So now I'm going to grab the shade that is going to be the star of this look, and that is the shade Super Cluster right here, which is this really beautiful ethereal blue shade. This is the shade that inspired this look, and I'm going to put it all over my eyelid, over Mercury and all the way to the inner corner, just all over the place, tapping it with my finger. I feel like that still looks really nice and ethereal, no complaints. And I'm going to elevate it into the crease. Ooh, that's so pretty. Reference number 2 in that same shade, Super Cluster, because I want to bring it up a bit more, but I'm always scared of going too far with my finger, so I prefer a brush for this. And you can see with everything we did underneath Super Cluster how the shade changes throughout the eye look. It looks super beautiful and kind of golden on the crease. It looks more of a light blue shade on the inner corner, and then it intensifies towards where it has some colors underneath until it gets to this smoky wing situation back here. I honestly love the way it came out. Like I said, I wanted something light and ethereal, and I feel like I got it. And I already have makeup on my face with this one, so let me see what I want to do for the under eye area. I was trying different eyeliner shades to see which one would match better, and I'm going for this one. This one is from Odin's Eye in the shade 004, and I'm adding it to the waterline of my eye. With the tip of a reference number 28 and the shade Dark Matter, I'm going to look up and just back and forth wiggle the brush right underneath my eye on the outer corner. Connect it right here at the end with what we did on top. And with a reference number 26, I'm going to intensify the inner corner, but then also I think I want to bring this shade in underneath my lashes around halfway. I'm adding some more mascara. And with mascara on, this is the finished look number 3. Very ethereal with a bit of a defined outer corner. And you definitely have to love shimmers in order to love this one. And after having added some lashes, this right here is the finished look number 3. Totally obsessed with the way this one came out. I really love it. I definitely wanted to include a look in this video that was very ethereal, and you can literally do the same look changing the main color and create other similar looks with different color stories with this one. Like if you do the same preparation I did for this look, but instead of using Super Cluster, you change it for the shade Sun, you have a completely different look. You can also change it for the shade Supernova and have a completely different look, or even the shade Quasar, and you'll still have very beautiful, very shimmery, very ethereal looks of different colors. This palette is very versatile in that way. Anyways, let's just go ahead and move on to look number 4. I'm going to start the 4th look with the color Galaxy, mainly because I want to use it in a look and I haven't used it yet. This is like a matte black shade with some blue specks in there, and I'm using a reference number 14 brush to add it to the outer third of my eyelid. Even though this shade has blue specks in there, it pretty much will work like a matte black shade would, I think. So I'm just going to use it to intensify the outer corner of this eye look. On a reference number 1, I'm going to use the color Comet to tap it over the edge of Galaxy. And I'm just going to back and forth blend these shades into one another with the tip of my reference number 1 brush. And I'm bringing them in as I go a little bit. And then I'm switching to the shade Space Dust with my same reference number 1. And I'm going to use it as my transition shade and blend it all the way in through the crease. Adding more Space Dust just to have a nice transition-y type shade. And a little bit more Comet as well, still with a reference number 1. Bringing it in through the crease this time. A little bit of makeup remover on a Q-tip, and I'm going to do a bit of a cut crease on the inner half of my eye. So I'm just going to remove my makeup right here with the Q-tip. And back with the primer I've been using all throughout this video, which is my Rare Beauty primer. I'm going to define my crease a bit more. I switched my brush to a reference number 21 because I was not happy with the one I was using. This one's going to make things look a bit more even. I have a little bit of the color Orion on a reference number 28, and I'm going to tap it over the edge of Galaxy right here in the center of the eye, and this is going to be a transition into our next shimmer. And with my reference number 14, I'm going to make sure it blends nicely into Galaxy. For the inner half of my eyelid, the shade Quasar on a reference number 2. I'm going to add it to the inner corner of the eye, right under the cut crease thingy I did, and blending it into the shade Orion right here. For my under eye area, a little bit more of the shade Galaxy on a reference number 26 brush, and I'm going to add it to the outer third of my under eye. And I'm going to blend that out with a reference number 13 and the shade Space Dust all the way to the tear duct area. A little bit more Quasar on a reference number 26 and bringing it under a little bit, ever so slightly down here. I already have a bit of mascara on, but I'm just going to retouch it a bit. In my waterline, I just added a flesh toned eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury. And this is look number 4 with just mascara on before I put on any falsies. I think I want to bring Quasar halfway through my crease, so a little bit further in. I'm using a refer number 26. Just like that. This is now look number 4. Let me be right back with some lashes. And now I'm back with the half lashes on, and this right here is the finished 4th look with the Cosmos palette. I gotta say the shade Galaxy was a bit disappointing because it's not really that sparkly. Once you have it on the eye, it's just like using a matte black shade. However, I do appreciate having a matte black shade in this palette because now I know that I can intensify any look as dark as this one looks. And if you want to see looks 3 and 4 from a little bit further away, here is what they look like. You're looking at the totality of the makeup applied on my face right now. I have no makeup on my chin, no makeup on the top of my forehead. Anyways, I love these looks. These were fun. Time to begin the 5th and last look, and I'm going to start with the shade Space Dust on a refer number 15 brush, and I'm just packing the color on all throughout the crease of my eye. I'm going to add a bit more Space Dust to the outer V of the eye back here, and then once I have a nice amount of pigment on, I'm going to start blending the upper edges by blending back and forth with a very light pressure and my same refer number 15. To start darkening things up, I'm going to use the shade Eclipse on a refer number 14 brush, and I'm going to stamp it on the outer third of my eyelid back here and slowly blend it into the outer third of my crease area. So first I pack the product where I want it, and then once I have a nice amount of color deposited, I'm going to start blending it into the crease shade. I'm going to bring it in halfway through the eye a bit. And if you need help blending this upper edge, go back to your refer number 15 and move it back and forth. That'll help blend it very, very fast. I didn't add anything to my brush. I just kind of used it to blend the two colors into each other. I'm also going to use the shade Eclipse for the inner third of my eyelid. Blend it into the crease ever so slightly and make it meet with the outer corner Eclipse right through the crease. We're doing a halo eye. I want to darken things up even more, so I have the color Dark Matter on my refer number 14 once again. And I am intensifying the outermost corner of my eye and also the inner third of my eyelid here to get it to look really nice and smoky. Next, with the color Sun on a refer number 28, I'm going to do the center of my eyelid. So I'm just packing Sun right here all throughout the center of the eyelid, stamping it in place and slowly blending it into my matte shades. Back with the number 14, we're going to just pat it on the edge of that shimmer so that it blends seamlessly into the matte colors. To my waterline, I added the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner in the shade Pillow Talk. And with the refer number 3 brush and the color Dark Matter, I'm going to intensify the outer third and also the inner third of my under eye. With the tip of a refer number 28 and the color Sun, I'm going to add that shimmer to the under eye area, right in the middle down here. And I'm going to smoke that out with Space Dust on a refer number 13. Just smoking it out down here. Now for the inner corner, a little bit of Quasar first, and then a little bit of Sun over it with the refer number 2. Honestly, you can just use Sun and not put Quasar underneath, but I did it like this on the other eye, so I had to make it even. So take a look right here before any mascara or lashes. This is the finished 5th look. If you wanted to take a look at look number 5 with just mascara on, this is what it looks like. And this is what it looks like from further away. So take a look right there. I am going to apply some lashes. Alright, so now with the lashes on, this right here is the finished 5th look. You guys know I love burgundies and I love halo eyes, so I had to. If you want to see what both eyes look like, check it out right here. I really hope that you love the looks I created with this palette as much as I did. This palette was a total blast to play with. And don't forget to comment your favorite look down below in the description box. If I had to pick a favorite look with this palette, I would definitely go for look number 1. Because I can't stop thinking about it and I can't wait to recreate it already. Look number 1 was definitely my favorite look that I created with this palette. By far too, look number 1 definitely stood out to me from the beginning, so that one is the one that I would pick. Let me know your pick down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, I love creating looks with all of the different palettes that come out, so don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.